you a bunch of plays.
I know. I like it.
All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And welcome.
I'm sorry. I'm doing this one-handed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And welcome to Cindy's Health Beat and Where to Eat on News Radio 1490 WTTB. Today is a special day because today we are taking it to the streets. Now, mostly you hear great information on Saturdays on the show regarding health, wellness, and fitness. And about every 6 weeks, I like to sneak in on you taking it to the streets where I actually bring into the studio a restaurateur to tell us a little bit about themselves, but not just any restaurateur. Today we're really pleased, and Jesse's with us. How are you doing, Jesse? Now,
Very good, Cindy.
Jesse just can wave because I've stolen his mic again this week. But in studio I've got great friends of mine who I've known for several months because I had an opportunity to just take a nice drive north on A1A into Indy Atlantic with a good friend, Pamela Bennett. We had a wonderful to die for dinner at Scott's on 5th in Indy Atlantic. Yay! Well, I have in studio the actual chef, owner, Scott Eric.
Scott's in the house.
Scott's in the house. And Bill Heiss, his partner, owners of Scott's on 5th in Indy Atlantic, which is just a conversation north of Vero Beach. Also, I am just so thrilled to have them in studio. They're very busy men, and we have an hour show today, and it's going to be very difficult just to fit everything into this hour because Scott's on 5th has really set a record. They've just anniversaried around 5 years in Indy Atlantic as Scott's on 5th, but they have won the Best Restaurant Award, Best Restaurant in Brevard County, for 2 years in a row. Yay!
Yay, over 1,000 restaurants.
Over 1,000 restaurants. And this has been a people's choice.
Yeah.
Actually voted and has been published in the Florida Today Metro Mix.
2010, 2011.
Yeah, I know.
Back to back.
Kudos to you guys. And I'll tell you something. You have a very small but charming restaurant. You have 11 tables.
12 tables.
12 tables. It is wonderful. Reservations only.
They're suggested. You can get in. If you don't get in, there's the bar space that's available.
Which is where I've come up for lunch on several occasions.
Yeah, you like actually you like sitting at the bar.
I like sitting at the bar, but it's a charming.
Very European.
Yes, it is, and what a great flair the two of you have. I mean, when you walk in the door, Bill, you're right up front there, shaking people's hands. Hello, how are you?
It's more New York than I think Italian, but
yeah, well, it's not. I wouldn't say that it's so Italian. It's metropolitan.
Okay, let me jump in here.
Okay,
I consider it La La Land because when you walk in the door, it brings nothing but smiles to your face because there's, I think, 7 or 8 chandeliers and they're multicolored, bright red wall. And then I take total pride in the ceiling being bedazzled.
And that it is.
It is. It's total stones of the ceiling, so when the chandeliers are lit, it sparkles down, and all you do is look in this place and just smile. And I see the people walk in the door and smile and laugh, and they go, "This is crazy."
And it's fun. I mean, you really make everybody's dining experience there, whether it be lunch or dinner, a lot of fun. And if everybody will pick up the most recent issue, it just came out Friday, of the official Dining and Entertainment Guide. Scott's on 5th has the center spread, and you'll see that I took a picture of Scott sitting on the bar.
I saw that. We were at lunch today at CJ Cannon's.
Yes, you did. And on your way, because they're
I grabbed it at the airport.
Wonderful. Well, you're going to be leaving the studio today with some for your restaurant, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, they actually, we have, believe it or not, I think it was, Bill, was it Friday or Saturday night? We had 4 different tables from Vero Beach.
All from your dining guide.
All from the dining guide.
I love it. I just love it when a plan comes together. But the greatest thing is that people nowadays, they still are going out to dinner. But the one thing that the dining guide needs to do and does give to a lot of people are new ideas of where to go rather than going to the same places time and time again. Now, Scott's on 5th, you are, in my opinion, a destination restaurant for me. because you have got fine quality food. Your menu changes all the time. You do have some set things, but you've got some specials. And you're less than 25 minutes from Vero Beach. And people will drive for good dining.
You know, when you, and we're going to get into this a little bit later, when you talk about restaurants, there's restaurants and then there's restaurants. I mean, we like to go out to eat just as much as anybody else. But when it's us doing our job, we take it to a different level. Because I've lived around the world, Bill's been around the world, and we've taken all the components of what we like in certain restaurants, and we put them in, we just jumbled them into one, and it's Scott's on Fifth. And I didn't even come up with the name. I was trying to find a different name for the restaurant, because I told Bill, I don't want my name on that sign because I have to go out in public.
Right.
And he insisted, and what he did was he came up with the name Scott's on Fifth, because we are on Fifth Avenue in Indy Atlantic. My name is Scott, and I'm cooking the food. And it took me a while, but I thought, you know what? What a better way to have your name known, Scott's on Fifth. I mean...
And you are Scott.
So that's why I take it a little bit more seriously than most people. If I was like, well, let's call a name, the Turtle Restaurant, in generic name, no one would know we own it.
Right.
So if something went wrong, no one would know who owns it.
No, they're going to look for the turtle.
Yeah. So there's a little bit more intensity for someone that puts their name on a restaurant, and I hope to the John Q public out there that comes in there, it's everything that we set out to do.
Well, it's even more intense than that, because I was going to save this for later in the show, but you brought up the intensity and how it is your restaurant.
It's
and
intense.
When you put your name on it, it means, well, Scott's on Fifth has got a phenomenal, and I'm not kidding you, a phenomenal website. And on that website, you actually have a webcam in your kitchen.
Yes, you can watch
me. Yes. But, you know, it takes a tremendous amount of confidence to actually put a camera in your kitchen watching you preparing people's meals that, you know, the people
they
that
actually take these smartphones or whatever you call them. I have a Droid, but they set it, they turn it on, they go to the website, they set it on their water glass, and they watch me make their meal.
Yes.
Well, Bo McMillan from the Food Network and the Sanctuary Resort in Scottsdale, Arizona was in one night. And he said that he watched Scott on
He watched me prepare the whole meal for 8 people.
And he said, I couldn't do this.
Right. Isn't that amazing?
I'm like, it's hardcore. It's one-man show.
I know it is. But it is so intense. That's the pride that you take in every dish. Every dish that comes out of that kitchen has your signature on it.
Well, you're coming to eat my food.
Right.
And I have my own style. We've tried having some chefs every once in a while just to give me a break, but it's not, you know what,
well, there were 2 problems with that, Cindy. One is they couldn't cook his food, and 2 was that the Gloria was flowing magically into him, and so I decided to put a stop to that.
I love Gloria Ferrer sparkling wine. I had my 3-month summer of fun. Bill put an end to that real quick.
Well, I'm glad that you're in the kitchen, because it has been my experiences at Scott's has really been remarkable. And you know, when I go to Scott's, I know that I'm going to get the attention by both
we
you and
we are
Bill.
Mostly known, if you read any of the internet searches, and I will tell you this, because I have to do a kudos to our staff. They take as much pride in the restaurant as much as we do. When they go out in public, they're known as they work at Scott's, and they're very proud to be working there. They are at the top of their game. They are really at the top of their game, and I won't say just for Indy Atlantic or Brevard County or Florida. They are at the top of their game in the United States, because they are serving heads of corporations that fly their private jets in to have a meeting for 3 hours, and they go back to Paris, London, Rome, and these guys are really, really doing their job. And, you know, I beat them with a stick.
I bet you do, but you've also had a lot of your help for a long period of time. And the reason why I know that is that when Pamela took me there for dinner that several months ago, it's been a while since Pamela's been there, and that since she lived in Melbourne, but she recognized several of the servers
Right,
there.
yeah. They
so
are,
you do, the people that work for you do stay with you.
we have a very small staff, and they work. They're part of the family, and we fight just like everybody does in a family. And but we're all out to do one thing, and is put out a good product, and that goes from service to ambiance. And you know, a big part of the restaurant is the music.
Yes.
I mean, that's a huge thing that I do on my little iPod that I do. And I take it from very small, quiet 5:30 dining, then 7:30 gets a little bit jazzy, and baby, about 9 o'clock it goes into 80s disco.
It is
It's cranking.
It's a wild place. Well, I'll tell you, I've got you on Facebook. And I get to see these pictures at 11:30 at night.
Oh, yeah.
And really, even last night when I checked out the webcam, and I'll tell you, that can become addictive.
It's very addictive. You're a voyeur.
Am I
You're a
really?
voyeur.
Am I a voyeur?
You're a voyeur.
Well, I never knew what it was like until I guess I done it. I looked at the website a couple of times and then into the kitchen. I'm going, golly, gee, they don't know that I'm here, and that's kind of a scary feeling. But it's really the confidence that you have in your preparation of your food.
My point about the webcam is that I wanted people to see what it really is like, because when you come to Scott's on 5th, you sit in the dining room, you're looking around the chandeliers, you're looking at the ceiling, the food is great, the music is good, the service is good, and the first thing that comes to your mind is, I'd love to own a restaurant like this. If I could have a restaurant, I would love to have a restaurant like Scott's on 5th. And then I say, go to the webcam.
Reality sets
because
in.
the reality sets in, and you can actually see a working kitchen.
Yes, and it's very small.
It's very small. Actually, our kitchen is smaller than this
studio.
This studio, I think it's this small.
But in some cases, that's good because you're turning around. It's not as though you have to walk across.
No, and there's only
the
3 of us that
refrigerator.
work in there at night, and Wilmer has been with us from almost the beginning, and he's like my right-hand man, and we don't even see, there's no talking in the kitchen because we're working. Everyone has a job.
Music in the kitchen.
Well, I have the speaker in the kitchen because I have to hear the mood, because I can peek out the door, and if it needs to go up a little bit, I go out and I start cranking it up faster than usual. Because the mood, you know, it's part of the package, you know.
It
I mean,
is.
and if it's a very quiet night and it's a business night, I have to tone it down a little bit. And I've been into a restaurant. My friend Tessa, she was into a restaurant last year, and she told me she would never go back there. She goes, because she has a hearing thing, and she said that she asked them to turn the music down, and they said, "I'm sorry, no."
Oh my!
So we have tables that are under the speakers, but we put reserve signs on them because if
Because you know the people that like to have.
I mean, that's part of, it's knowing your customer. It's knowing your customer base.
Yes.
And you have to pre-expect what's coming through the door. It's not all about me. It's not about Scott. It's about the customer. It's not about Bill. It's about the customer. We're in the service industry.
Right.
And we are giving our version of what we think we like to do. And that's where I think some restaurants go wrong, is that they're, I don't even know how to put this. It's hard to talk about because
you dine out. You and Bill
dine out.
And you see things, and then you go, oh, my.
Well, when I do that, I say, okay, now I know why Scott's on 5th is Scott's on 5th. But everyone thinks the restaurant industry is just the easiest thing to do.
No,
it's the hardest industry in the world.
It is.
Well, there have been so many to close of late.
Yes.
It's just difficult.
Yes, it is. And you have to be married, and you have to have a passion. And coming up in the next segment, we're going to talk about that passion, because there's a lot of things that you've done, you and Bill both. But I want to find out what made you come to the Treasure Coast or to the Space Coast. What brought you here? This is Cindy Bryant with Cindy's Health Beat and Where to Eat. We're talking to Scott and Bill from Scott's on 5th. Wonderful restaurant in Indian Atlantic. Voted best restaurant in Brevard County 2 years in a row, 2010 and 2011. And they're here in my studio with Jesse and I, live in our studio. And we've got more to come, so don't change that dial. We'll be right back.